Before to go ahead, let me clarify something. The Book of Mormon is not an history of the pre-Columbian American Indian. Its history ends about Anno Domini 420. It does not describe what happened in the Western Hemisphere between that point to the Columbus discovery. Also, the Book of Mormon is not a geographical text. It contains no maps. Places and movements are named not for their own sake, but are incidental to other subject matter. Locations are given only in relative terms. The Book of Mormon is not a text in anthropology or archaeology. It's just a religious record. Its purpose is to make people know the covenants of the Lord to the Jews. Okay? And it's also to convince the Gentile and the Jews that Jesus is the Christ. Okay, now you would say, probably, show me more than you did before, because I'm still skeptical. That's yeah, I know. Well, we know that the story, the usual history of the world, teaches that only Jehovah was worshipped by the Jews, by the Israeli people. No other people, no other country were worshipping Jehovah in the Old Testament. So it would be interesting, because the Book of Mormon teaches that from 600 before Christ there were people in the United States, or the two Americas, sorry, that they were praying the same God, that the Jews, the Israeli. So it would be interesting to see if in the Old Testament there was in another country people worshipping the same God that the Israeli people. Psalm 65 verse 8. They also that dwell in the uttermost part are afraid at thy tokens. Wow, there's, he says here that in the uttermost parts they fear God. Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 10. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, again, it gives us a clue. My suppliants, wow, people who pray, even the daughter of my dispersed shall bring me mine offerings. So, beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, there are people who pray God, and they will bring offerings. Probably this one is one of them. Isaiah 24 verse 16. From the uttermost part of earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. Interesting. Ezekiel, which is contemporary of Lehi, wrote this, and I will explain later on that Ezekiel probably knew him, Lehi, and Ezekiel, he was the prophet who wrote more about the Book of Mormon, and we'll see. Ezekiel 6 verse 8 to 10. Yet will I leave a remnant, that you may have some that shall escape the sword among the nations, when he shall be scattered through the countries. And they that escape of you shall remember me among the nations, whither they shall be carried captives, because I'm broken with their warish heart, which have departed from me, and with their eyes, which go a-warring after their idols, and they shall loathe themselves for the evils which they have committed in all their abomination. And they shall know that I am the Lord, and that I have not said in vain that I would do this evil unto them. So, we have another clue here. Psalms 77, verse 15 says, Thou hast with thine arm redeemed thy people, the son of Jacob and Joseph. So it starts to have a distinction between Jacob and Joseph. Psalm 98, verse 3. All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God. In this book, we heard that Jesus, after his resurrection, went in the two Americas and showed himself. And we talk about this later a lot more. So, what was the legend about the white god, bearded, who promised to be back in the two Americas? You know, it's interesting that Pizarro's conquest of an empire of over 6 million with a force of only 180 men is the most astonished military feat in history. How could they defeat 6 million people when they had maybe 10 arquebuses? Because those people believed in a coming back of a white bearded God.